Welcome back to Drive With Me. I'm kind of frustrated right now. I just finished voting. You can see from my hat right there. I just finished voting. And I'm kind of frustrated right now because, this is in Utah, which is even more surprising. And it could just be machine problems or whatever. I don't know if it's necessarily voter fraud or whatever, but I'm not going to tell you who I voted for president. I will tell you it's not Hillary Clinton. It is another candidate. But it's not my job. It's not any YouTuber's job to tell you, or the news's job to tell you who to vote. So do some research and vote for who you're going to vote for if you haven't already voted. I will tell you this, though. Watch what buttons you check. Watch for who you vote for. And go back and double check before you submit it. Because this is what happened to me today. My votes... my presidential vote did not get switched, okay, which was probably the most important one. So that's good for me. But on your ballot, it might change. That one might change on yours. It could have been different on my machine. Yours might switch your presidential votes. What happened is I voted for mostly libertarians, and I voted for some Republicans when there wasn't a libertarian person to vote for, or another person that I could write in that was a good candidate. So what happened is I voted for all the people that I wanted to vote for, all the candidates, and then I went back and checked the back button to check to make sure all the votes hadn't switched, because I had heard about lots of different people's votes switching. And you know what? About 4 or 5 of my votes had switched from Republican or Libertarian to the Democrat nominee for those positions, okay? Luckily, it wasn't the presidential nominee, but you know what? Things at a local level do matter. Things at a state level matter many more times sometimes than the actual national election. So that was kind of frustrating to see that my votes had switched. So I went through and I was able to uncheck them and check the right nominees, and then I went through the whole thing, went through again, went back again, and they didn't change again. You know, I'm very, very technological savvy. I do a lot of different editing. I do a lot of different website building. I do a lot of different stuff like that. I'm not technologically impaired. I don't have huge clumsy hands. I know I checked the right ones in the beginning, and luckily I was able to go back through and I was able to change them easily back to who I actually originally had voted for. But you know, what if I had been an older person? What if I wasn't very technologically savvy? What if I had a bad eyesight? What if I had other issues that so I had a hard time voting? And what if I couldn't figure out how to go back and vote? What if I hadn't even noticed? What if I hadn't even noticed that I had voted for the wrong people? That's just very frustrating. Luckily, I was able to figure it out and get my stuff changed. But I'm sure there's people there that were there with me right now who voted for people that they have nothing in common with, who have no common stances on political issues, only because the machine messed up their vote. So just, there's nothing really we can do about it right now except for go out there and actually vote and actually pay attention to your what you vote for, because the sticker doesn't mean anything if you voted for the wrong people that you actually didn't even vote for, right? So get out there, vote, and double, triple, quadruple check the candidates that you check on those boxes, because there's a chance that, like me, even though it wasn't the presidential candidate that got switched, it could be on your ballot. It could be the presidential candidate that gets switched. You could vote for someone, and you could end up voting for the wrong person, or someone that you cannot stand or think that should be in, not in the presidency, but somewhere else, maybe in jail or something, Because, it didn't switch from Republican to Libertarian. It didn't switch from Libertarian to Republican. If it switches, it's switching to Democrat candidates, okay? It's going to give you the Democrat candidates. At least on mine it did. Libertarian, Republican. It didn't go from Libertarian to Republican, or one Republican gets switched to an independent. No, it was all Libertarian, Republican candidates that I voted for. Switch, or constitutional party. There were some constitutional parties on there that I actually also voted for as well. It was those ones that got switched to the Democrat nominee. Okay, so pay attention, get out there and vote. Don't stand for this government that's shoving down high taxes, government control. Actually do some research, and if you hear something that sounds like that sounds kind of crazy, do some research, because in these days a lot of true things are happening that are true, but because of the media portrays people like that as crazy, everything's coming off as conspiracy theories. And in this election we've seen so many different things that normally would be put it towards people as conspiracies that are actually coming out to be true, you know. But regardless of all those things, and regardless of who you're voting for, even if you're voting for Democrats, check those boxes. Make sure that they are legitimately checked. Make sure that your vote doesn't get switched, and make sure your vote counts. And guys, until next time, please subscribe. Please pay attention to what's going on in this country and wherever you live. If you're not in the United States, pay attention to where you live also. But you know, it just kind of pissed me off. Vote for who you want to vote for, and you know, either party shouldn't cheat to try to win. If the Democrats lose, they should not try to have to cheat to win. You know, which happens almost every single election. We know thousands of dead people voted in 2012 and 2008. I mean, I'm sure it happens on the Republican side as well. So it's just kind of a shame when we can't have honest elections and just try to win with the best message and the best policies. And anyway, guys, until next time, please subscribe. Talk to you guys later. Check your votes, okay? Which button is the off button? Oh yeah, it's this one.